Hey BookTube, it's Jackie. How's it going? If you are new to me, it's the first time you're seeing my face, hello, what's up? My name's Jackie. I sit on my floor and I talk about books. So that's why you're here, because that's what's going to be happening today. If you're not new to me, thank you for always tuning in and continued support. I really do appreciate it. So today for you, I have my December TBR. Holy crap. It's already December. It's the end of the year, people. This is my last TBR of 2022. Holy kit and caboodles. Christ on a cracker. Holy shit, whatever expression you want to use. I cannot believe it's already the end of the year. I cannot believe this. But what I can believe is that this TBR is insane and I'm down for it. So let's dive right in. Without further ado, grab yourself a drink, have yourself a seat, and let's talk some books. Okay. So, this month, I have some read-alongs that I'm participating in. I have some challenges I still need to accomplish, but I have a lot of videos planned. So this is a very hefty TBR, but I think I can do this if I can knock out the carryovers from last month, which are the biggest books on this TBR. So let's just get started with those. The first book I have is a carryover from last month, and it's The Kingdom of Ash. Now, however, this is a carryover, but it was split between November and December because this is my reading installment for the SJM read-along. If you are not familiar with that by now, it is a read-along hosted by Jen over the Book Refuge. I will link her down below, where we are reading all of Sarah J. Maas's published works in publication order to find out if we could find any ties or connections in between the series. And this is the final installment to the Throne of Glass series. Final installment. I am pumped to get into it. I am nervous to get into it. I want to know what happens. I want to know how everything handles. I have heard destructive things about this book that I will be obliterated. And guess what? You will get to see it all because I will be doing a full reading vlog on this bad boy. So keep your eyes peeled for that this month. It's one of the many videos that I am doing this month. But yes, it's here. It's happening. This is the month it's going to happen, guys. This is it. Holy crap. I will also be continuing Valor by John Gwynne. I started this in November. I didn't get very far into it, but what I've read of it so far, I'm really enjoying it. This is the second installment to the Faithful and the Fallen series. I had a great time with Malice. It was only 4 stars for me because it took me about halfway through the book to really get into it. This one, if I could clearly remember everything that happened in Malice, would not do this. I would already be invested. I mean, this thing picks up right where it left off and it goes running. But there is 3 pages of characters and character descriptions. And I found that I did not remember everything that I needed to. So it's a little slow right now, but as it's coming back to me, this is becoming a very, very fast read. So I feel good about its completion very, very soon. So I am also continuing Wanderlust by Laura Blakely. It looks like this. It's an audiobook that I started at the end of November, and I will be continuing with it just because I wanted to make a mention of it because I'm about halfway through, so half of it was in November, half it's going to be in December. So I will be continuing with this as well. And this is narrated by Richard Armitage, and off the top of my head, I cannot think of the woman's name, but Richard Armitage narrates this thing. So I have his voice speaking French and dirty, dirty things in my ear. And it's, there's a reason I'm not done with this book yet, people. Because I need to take a minute after his chapters, for sure. Yeah, it's a real thing. But it's excellent, and I'm having a great time with it so far. All right, the next books that I have here are my challenges. I drew my final TBR jar challenge on my November wrap up, and I will link it down below so you can see me drawing it. And I drew, read a book picked out by your husband. All right. I did not do his jar this month because it was nice to me November, so I thought I'm not going to worry about it. No, I didn't complete my TBR, but the book I didn't even start was Kingdom of Ash, so I kind of gave that one as a freebie to me. But yet he still finds a way to pick a book on my TBR because I had a baker's dozen in this. So my other option could have been, just so you guys are aware, it could have been read a book based on a story from the Bible. That was my other choice. But no. Fate said Lauren's picking out a book. And he did. He actually picked out 2 because something that happens in December is also my husband's birthday. So as one of his birthday presents, I told him he could pick out a book that was going to be on this TBR. So not only does he get the challenge book, he gets to pick a book of his own free volition. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to my husband. Here's a video clip of him picking out these next 2 books. I'll see you afterwards. Everybody, this is Lauren. This is my husband. He's going to be picking out a book for me, or 2 books, because it is his birthday month, and I told him he could pick out a book for his birthday for me to read. And he's over in the fantasy section. I know exactly what he's looking for.
We're gonna finish it.
And what's the second one? What's the TBR jar challenge? Not the birthday, or is this the birthday present?
This will be the birth. Look, your bookmark's still in it.
I know.
Just move that out. That way you know where to start.
Okay. And
since I enjoy some Stephen King, you get to enjoy some Stephen King.
The Dark Tower. How Christmassy of you.
It's a good series. And if you don't finish that, you have to read the whole second omnibus. So,
Welcome back, guys. I hope you enjoyed that little treat of getting to meet my husband. Maybe he will make some more cameos later on down the future, but I at least got him on the channel at least once. I got him here once. The books that he picked out were The Gunslinger by Stephen King. This is the first installment to the Dark Tower series. This got turned into a film years ago, and I did see it, and I did not like it. So I'm a little hesitant going into this, but my husband's father is a huge Stephen King fan. Lauren grew up reading Stephen King, and I have never read any Stephen King, so this will be my very first experience with him. Very first. So, here we go. It's on the list. And I was not one goddamn bit surprised when he picked this book. Not one bit surprised. And that is the 3rd installment to the first omnibus of Gotrek and Felix, which is Demon Slayer. This has made now 3 appearances on this TBR. So let's hope this is the month that it gets done in. It's this installment right here. So here it goes. It's back on there. It's a challenge book now. So let's see if I can complete it. All right. So those are my challenge books. And these next grouping of books are books that I am just really feeling right now. Like, I look at it and I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of feeling that. I'm feeling it. Let's go for it. And the first one is Sinner by Sierra Simone. This is the 2nd installment in the Priest series. And I just loved Priest. I also just recently read Midnight Mass, which is the novella that falls between Priest and this installment. And I've been told by many, many people to read this book. So I am finally going to read it and continue my love of this series. And I hope it just gets better and better and better, because I adored Priest. I adored it. And Midnight Mass was just as good. So I'm hoping that this holds true as well. And this cover, man, I have this in a bookmark, actually. It's right here. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. This was my bookmark for the longest time. Like, it's my bookmark. I love this cover. And this is actually one of my autographed copies. And in it, it says, Jackie, honest guy thing, sinner. So, yep, it's signed. So there it is. It's on the list. I'm finally reading it, guys. The next book it was a book that I talked about in my end of the year book tag, and I will hyperlink it here, and I'll also link it down the box below. I was asked to name 3 books that I'd like to complete by the end of the year, and this was one of them, was Carnal Urges by J.T. Geisinger. This is the sequel in Queens and Monsters series. I believe, Queens and Monsters series. I'll put the title of the series right here because I can never remember the title of the series. But this is the second installment, and we follow Sloane, who we met in the very first installment. And I believe it's Sloane and Declan. And I've heard really good things about Declan. Jen over the book Refuge, he is one of her faves. So, high hopes, okay? High hopes. I'm looking forward to this one. I love this cover too. I love the guy covers, guys. These are great. Oh my God, these are awesome. So I will be picking this one up as well. And also mentioned in that end of the year book tag, I mentioned that I also wanted to read Stolen Heir before the end of the year. So I'm putting it on this list. And this is the second installment to the Brutal Birthright series by Sophie Lark. And this is the one that follows, let me double check. I want to make sure that I get their names right because, make sure. Miko and Nessa Griffin. So this is Nessa. We met in the first installment. She is the little sister. And so we're going to find out what happens with her. I'm really, really excited to jump back into this series because I had such a good time with Brutal Prince and Ruthless Creatures, which was the first installment to this one. I had a great time experience with both of them, so I'm really excited to jump back in. Another book that's kind of just calling my name was actually a former TBR jar challenge. So if I read this book, I will have completed every TBR jar challenge for the year. So I decided to put it on there, and that is Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. This would be fulfilling the challenge that I drew, that I had to read a book with an author as the same initials as I do. My name is Jackie Kennedy, Jay Kristoff. So if I complete this, I have completed every TBR jar challenge along with if I read Demon Slayer. So that's why I put this on the list. It's the first installment to the Nevernight Chronicles. This is Jay Kristoff's young adult series. It's about an assassin, I'm pretty sure. It's about an assassin. That sounds vaguely familiar. So, and I loved Empire the Vampire, which was actually my first foray into Jay Kristoff. So I'm hoping I love this just as much, but maybe in a different way. It is YA, so I'm going in knowing I'm going to be probably sexually frustrated. So, and because of the holiday season, I do need some holiday books on my list. I'm not guaranteeing I'm going to get to all these, but they're there. So the first one is a book that I have not yet hauled, and you will see it in an upcoming haul, and that is Krampus, the Yule Lord by Bram. Look at this fucking cover, okay? This is fucking, look at this. Ah, looks so fucking cool. And there's artwork in there. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Look at that. Oh my God, I'm pumped about this one. I don't know a damn thing about it, except it's the story of Krampus. Santa Claus, my dear old friend, you are a thief, a traitor, a slanderer, a murderer, a liar, but worst of all, you are a mockery of everything for which I stood. You have sung your last ho, 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 for I am coming for your head. I'm coming to take back what's mine, to take back the Yuletide. Well, fuck me running. Okay, that sounds like a great time. And I love spooky even during Christmas time. So yes, this is on the list. I'm kind of excited about this one. I do have two other very small little Christmas novellas that I personally owned already, and that is Beth Harbison's Shoe Addicts Christmas. I read her Shoe Addicts Anonymous series, duology, a few years ago, and I had a great time with it. That's actually what introduced me to Beth Harbison, who is one of my favorite contemporary authors. I love her books. I love her titles. They read really, really quickly. But that is just a very tiny little guy, so I'm pretty sure I can read this in like a day. I'm not too worried about it. And then I also have Jennifer Cheverini's A Christmas Spells. This was a gift to me by my godmother. She actually introduced me to Jennifer Cheverini when she gave me Mrs. Lincoln's Dressmaker, and I just adored that book. I actually have quite a few of her books. You can't see it, but they're in the next shelf above. So yes, I am a huge fan of Jennifer Cheverini. I've read a few pieces of her work, and I really enjoy her work, and I've never read this one, and I've had it on my shelf for quite a long time. So hopefully it will read quickly, and it'll be a nice little Christmas treat for me. It gives me very Christmas Carol vibes, which, speaking of Christmas Carol, that is the last and final book on my list. I read A Christmas Carol every Christmas. At some point in time, December, I will sit down and read Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. It's one of my favorite Christmas stories of all time. I watched the George C. Scott Christmas Carol film growing up every year on Christmas Eve with my family, and then when I got a family of my own, that tradition turned into Nightmare Before Christmas. But I still try to watch a George C. Scott's Christmas Carol at some point in time during the month of December. It is literally one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time because it is one of the closest to this original story. I love this story. I have always loved a Charles Dickens Christmas Carol, and this is my beautiful penguin cloth bound edition of this book. I mean, look at this. This thing is, oh my God. If Christmas was a book, that is this. Like, it's just beautiful, and I love it so, so much. My husband actually bought this for me, so I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited to finally read it out of this edition, because I've always read it over my other edition, so this will be the first time reading it out of this one. Yes. But that is my TBR for this month, guys, and of course there will be more audiobooks thrown in there. There's a couple ebooks that I want to try. There may be some more surprise vlogs down the way, but there is a lot of stuff going on this month. I've got some recommendations videos going out. I've got all those end of the year videos, some holiday videos. So this is a jam-packed month with a lot of jam-packed reading, and I'm super pumped, super excited, and I cannot wait to dive in. Let me know if any of these books are really exciting you, or you're excited about seeing any of them, or you want to see full reviews on any of these books. Let me know, because there are some on here that I think would be really, really interesting to talk about. So that is all I got for you guys today. I hope you have a good one, and I will see you guys all soon with another video.